Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Romano. Somebody asked me recently whether or not a cryptocurrency hedge fund was a good type of investment to invest in. As you know, I make videos for everyone, so all you have to do is send me messages to the live chat or to LinkedIn. You could find me and I'll make a video just for you. The cryptocurrency hedge funds are a new type of industry that's been growing. However, I personally believe, and I'm going to walk you through why you should not invest in a cryptocurrency hedge fund. In order to analyze the returns of a hedge fund, you need at least 5 years, and within that 5-year period, that hedge fund has to have the ability to trade in a collapsing market. When you understand something like that, it's only now that cryptocurrency just collapsed. For those hedge funds out there that are trading cryptocurrency, that are a cryptocurrency hedge fund, in 3 to 5 years, so to speak, you could analyze those returns and come up with a reason to invest in that one or this one when you create a portfolio of hedge funds. So as of right now, it wouldn't be a very good idea to invest in cryptocurrency hedge funds because you really have no data to analyze their returns. Looking at a risk measure such as a Sharpe ratio or any other ones that people use, you can't use that in the hedge fund industry because based on my research and all of my findings in my data that I proved, those risk measures are out of date in today's market. And that is the traditional approach to hedge fund selection and selecting a trader. And so what do you do if you can't use that? Well, that's where I come in. I went to school to analyze that situation, and I created my own theory as a PhD student. Before we continue the video, please remember to do thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Please do that because that will really help me out. Thank you so much. I also wrote a book, published it. I finished my second book. I published my dissertation with the Library of Congress. Again, when I speak, it's not because I'm just talking and I read something out of the New York Times magazine. No, God forbid. It's because when I speak, it's because I have data behind me that I have completed. And that's what the data suggests. It's not just writing an essay or a research paper. No, you have to do that as well as use data. And so the data is in hedge fund returns. And so after the data suggests those risk measures are not useful in today's market, well, you shouldn't be using them. And so that's why I say investing in a cryptocurrency hedge fund it's not possible because it's too new of an industry. Secondly, we needed a collapse, which we do have. And finally, the industry has to get regulated. The government had to wait until there was this type of collapse that happened. And now they could analyze the collapse and put more regulation in that industry, which they have to do. They did that for the investment banks as well as mutual funds. They did that for hedge funds. And so it created the hedge fund industry to be much better and safer for people's assets. And because of what happened with Sam Bankman-Fried, apparently he couldn't trade. He couldn't trade in the reverse direction. And a lot of people had that problem because cryptocurrency is not pegged to anything. And so when you trade gold, well, it's pegged to the market, so you know what's going to happen. When you're trading a stock, an equity, it's an actual company that you're trading. You know what's going to happen. You know how to trade, whether yes or no, up or down, etc. And based on your strategy as well. That's why the cryptocurrency hedge funds are too new, they're too volatile, and that whole industry has to now go through a review. And what was also interesting is how did Sam Bankman-Fried get past the administrator and the hedge fund accountants? So again, there needs to be regulation on that as well, because in the equity hedge funds, they have to have an administrator, they have to have a hedge fund accountant that's totally separate, that they have nothing to do. It's called independent. What Sam Bankman-Fried did would have happened. And this is another reason, because what Sam Bankman-Fried would not have happened in the hedge funds that trade equities. And so that's why, when you say you're going to lose everything, well, of course, because cryptocurrency was a new industry and it was very, very volatile because it's not pegged to anything. I hope that answers your question, whether or not cryptocurrency hedge funds are going to be very successful. I believe in the future, as the SEC regulates cryptocurrency funds, as they've done for the equities market, there's a lot of money to be made in that industry in the future. I made a video on the future of cryptocurrency, but you have to also remember, once the governments start to create their own cryptocurrency, that's going to be a whole different market to trade in, because you could guarantee you that cryptocurrency each government has, they will have to peg it to something. And so maybe that's why the Asian countries buying up so much gold right now, and they have been, and also the other country above that Asian country, I'm not going to say the name. But again, so this is things you have to think about. An investor should not run into an industry that's new. You need to wait for a collapse to happen, because if you had stayed in the equities market and you created your funds of funds, meaning a hedge fund portfolio, for example, my funds of funds, that's hypothetical, in 2020 it did in excess of 50%. And in 2019, 2021, it was doing average of 35%. So again, the equities market is not bye-bye. There's no action there. There is a lot of action in the equities market still, because it has depth to it. The cryptocurrency market does not have depth right now. It's too new. It's not big enough. You don't have enough traders that are professionals, like hedge fund managers and so forth. In the equities market, I would say you probably have an excess of 15,000 hedge funds trading in the equities market. Whereas in the cryptocurrency market, you don't have that type of number, that they're actual hedge funds that have been trading for 10 years, 15 years. It didn't exist. Again, this is why you shouldn't have invested in the cryptocurrency markets. In the cryptocurrency, you should have never invested in a hedge fund that was focusing on the cryptocurrency markets. And I'll tell you something interesting. When I started to raise capital, I attempted to at the wrong time. Everyone, that was 5 years ago, approximately. That was 6 years ago, and 6 years ago, everyone wanted the cryptocurrency markets. And so they had asked me, why can't you create funds of crypto hedge funds? Impossible. There's not enough out there. There's not enough data. And that's why I wouldn't do that. That's why I always continue to believe in the equities market, because it has depth, it has age to it, etc. And the people that are trading the equities market, they also have age. There's many people in their 70s and 80s now are still trading as hedge fund managers, or even traders for themselves. So that's my take. I want to thank you so much for watching my video. Please remember to do thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It's right there. It doesn't hurt, but it will really help me out. Thank you so much.